Hello everyone and welcome to Shifting Gears. Welcome inside the 2025 Kia Syros compact SUV. Just for context, the Kia Syros is a sub 4 meter compact SUV, but it will be positioned above the Kia Sonet, that is the expectation, and it will be placed below the Kia Seltos. Now, excuse this voice command recognition. Every time we say something Kia, it might pop up like this. So, we'll have to keep this from not triggering. So, won't use the word Kia a lot. So, in this video, we are going to speak about the driving experience, the feel from behind the wheel of this Kia Syros. We have two separate long format videos. One for the exterior design of this very different looking tall boy compact SUV. And in another video, we speak about the interior cabin of this product, the space, the practicality, the overall feel inside, and is this a good enough product for your family? We speak of that in that particular video. In this video, with me, I have the top of the line Kia Syros. This is the diesel automatic trim with the level 2 ADAS functionality, and I will tell you how good of a mile muncher it is. I am driving this car right now on the Delhi-Mumbai Express Highway, and so far in my journey today, this has been quite an impressive experience. I started my day inside this Kia Syros from 7 a.m. It is almost 12 noon now, and I have been mighty impressed. But first, now let us speak about the specifications of this all-new Kia Syros. So powering the Kia Syros, you have a petrol as well as a diesel engine option, but the Syros does not come in an EV avatar. The petrol is a turbocharged unit, a 1 liter engine which produces 88.3 kilowatts of power at 6000 rpm and 172 newton meters of torque between 1500 to 4000 rpm. This turbo petrol engine is coupled to either a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed DCT, dual clutch automatic transmission. The variant which I have with me right now, this has the 1.5 liter CRDI VGT motor. This produces 85 kilowatts of peak power at 4000 rpm and 250 newton meters of peak torque ranging between 1500 to 2750 rpm, and this motor comes coupled to either a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed torque converter automatic. Both these engines, the turbo petrol and the turbo diesel, the Kia Syros comes only with a two-wheel drive system. This doesn't have all-wheel drive. This is a sub 4 meter compact SUV, not a hardcore off-roader. Before I get into the detailed drive review experience, let me also quickly touch base on the official mileage claim for this Syros. The brand claims that the turbo petrol manual will deliver 18.20 kmpl and the turbo petrol 7-speed DCT will deliver 17.68 kmpl. If you buy the diesel engine option, you will get 20.75 kmpl with the 6-speed manual and 17.65 kmpl with the 6-speed automatic. Now these are ARAI certified numbers. If I have to tell you the real world efficiency number, right now when I'm cruising effortlessly out on this Delhi-Mumbai expressway, right now I have set the cruise control at 80 kilometers per hour. I can actually get it up to 90, 100 or even up to 120. That is the speed limit. Let me tell you that the fuel efficiency number right now is varying between 20 to 22 kmpl at this kind of a speed, at this kind of a cruising speed out on the highway. Today morning when I started my drive from Gurgaon, from the city center, and then I drove almost 85 to 90 kilometers on this highway, then I had the engine idling for I guess 1 hour or more, and in that scenario The fuel efficiency number was 13.7 kmpl, and it is now increasing when I am mile munching out on the highway. So in terms of real world efficiency, you can expect that mileage could be somewhere between 15 to 16 kmpl. Average inside the city, it could be between 12 to 13 kmpl, and out on the highway it can be 20 or more with 2 people on board with luggage. And even with a load of 4 with luggage, I think close to 20 kmpl should not be a challenge. But then that also depends on how heavy your right foot is. So in terms of efficiency, with this diesel automatic, this is brilliant. I have so far driven this car for 100 kilometers. It still shows that I have a driving range available of 619 kilometers. That is where a diesel motor shines. It offers you so much range that you do not need frequent fuel stops, and that is a big convenience aspect because there is just no downtime. Now let's talk about the Kia Syros in step-by-step manner. First, let us speak about NVH. I am cruising right now at 100 kilometers per hour. At a speed of 100, there is some wind buffeting that I can hear, but there is no wind noise that is creeping inside the cabin to the point that it is uncomfortable or it is going to add to my overall driving stress. At 100 kmph, there is some tire noise which is heard inside the cabin, but that is about it. The AC control is also not too noisy. The outside temperature is 21 degrees. Inside I have set it at low. The AC fan blower is at level 2, and it is a quiet experience. Of course, the tire rolling sound is something that you will hear because you have wide contact patch tires with this Syros. It is not under tired at all, and you have 17-inch wheels. In terms of NVH, let me also highlight that when you start off early in the day with this diesel motor, you will hear some amount of engine noise inside the cabin. Now I think that because of the price range that this vehicle is going to slot in at, there could be lesser sound deadening material. So NVH, in terms of Kia and Hyundai standards, I know that it could have been better, but there could be a reason why it is not at its optimum best. Nevertheless, it is not too noisy, it is not too clattery, and at this kind of a speed, you won't necessarily notice it. But especially when starting off in the day, when there is no music playing, you will hear some amount of noise. I'm just being honest about it. Now, at this speed, at 100, there is no engine noise that is disturbing me inside the cabin. So that is quite nice, and I am a happy tourer in this Syros. The next point which I want to speak about is performance. Now when we speak about performance, let me combine engine and gearbox together. Now this has a 1.5 liter turbo diesel motor. It is a 4-cylinder unit, and the gearbox is a 6-speed torque converter automatic. This gear stick, it is nice and short, and it doesn't offer any Tiptronic functionality, so you can't really make any gear changes, upshifting and downshifting, making use of this gear stick. You will have to use the paddle shifters which are offered to you on the steering wheel, and I think that is ideal. You don't necessarily want to upshift or downshift making use of the stick. This is more convenient if at all you want better control over the engine and gearbox. Now speaking about performance, this diesel motor has enough poke. It has enough torque to be an effortless cruiser at high speeds, at lower revs, and also it has enough performance for fast-paced overtaking if at all you find slower cars in your path, in your way. And when that is the case, you can play around with the engine and gearbox making use of the paddles, and you also have drive modes to help you get that power down. Right now, to explain that, check this out. I'm going to slot the car in eco mode, and there is a slow moving vehicle in front of me. As soon as I get on the gas, listen to the engine. Gears have dropped, the speed has been picked up, and strong acceleration, nice strong acceleration. This is in eco mode, and the speed alarm system should have indicated at what speed we had reached. I'm going to pull over to the shoulder to demonstrate 0 to 100 acceleration in eco mode. So check this out. I'm going to come to a complete standstill, and now what we will do is sprint from a standstill in eco mode. So in 3, 2, 1, full pedal to the metal. Some wheel spin because of some gravel, but listen to the engine. And now we have crossed 100 kilometers per hour. Not bad, not slow at all. What I'm going to do now is I'm again going to pull over to the shoulder. Again we will come to a complete standstill, and this time I'm going to slot it in sport mode. So drive mode selector is on the steering wheel, sport mode has been engaged, and now just listen to the engine. In 3, 2, 1, full pedal to the metal. ...100 kilometers per hour. Fast, not bad at all. And for a family car, you can notice that you can blast past slower moving cars effortlessly if you are driving this Syros. And managing triple digit speeds is not going to be a problem. Now the constant speed buzzer will indicate that we are at 120 kilometers per hour and maybe a little above, but the speed limit is 120. So we can drive at this kind of speed. And when I'm doing that, check this out. Even if I was above 100 and then I got on the gas, there is enough power and torque available for me to push through and overtake slower vehicles. So this Syros, it is a sub 4 meter compact SUV, but it is not compromising on performance, and acceleration is decent. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay in sport mode, and now I'm approaching a truck. I will come up close and I will demonstrate what I'm going to do. So check this out. The vehicle is now close, the truck is now close. I will slow down a bit, and now when I want to overtake this truck, what I'm going to do is make use of the paddle shifters. So I'm going to downshift. So check this out and try to listen to the engine. When I've done this, I got better control over the power band of this vehicle, and I could keep it in the meat of the power band so that I got better acceleration. Check this out one more time. I'm going to slow down, and this time I'm going to downshift again. Listen to the engine. When I accelerate hard at this speed, and even though I was using the paddles, when I was flat on the floor with my right foot kicking that throttle pedal, even though I did not upshift, if the vehicle senses that you are demanding more power, if you are accelerating hard, it will upshift by itself and it will continue to build momentum. I will demonstrate that to you now one more time. I will slow down completely. I will come to a standstill, and what we will do is make use of the paddles for first and second gear. All right. By the way, I did not downshift by myself when bringing this vehicle to a halt, and the vehicle, as the speed dropped, it came to the ideal optimum gear. So right now we are in first gear. Of course, I'm going to make use of the paddle shifters to upshift. As you can notice, there is no manual mode over here. There is only D, P, R and D. No M or sport mode available on this gear stick. I have to depend on the paddle shifters when I want control. There is no separate manual mode which you can activate from the steering wheel either. So let us find some empty space, and now I have started to accelerate. I have pressed the upshift myself, and now listen to the engine. It will build revs and it will, rev closer to the red line before making that upshift, especially when you are using manual controls. When I want to slow down right now, I can use paddle shifters for engine braking too. So that is going to give me better control over the engine, and because of that, I can play around with this vehicle in a more fun manner. Right now, I have slowed down. I'm in second gear now, and when I get on the gas, this Syros, it accelerates a little over 4000 RPM before upshifting by itself. And right now, it is making these upshifts by itself. I am not giving any upshift prompt. So that should tell you that this manual mode is manual till the time you take manual control. If you ease off, if you still stay on the gas, the vehicle, the onboard computer is smart enough to ensure that it does what is necessary. But you do not necessarily drive like this all the time in a fast and furious manner, do you? Let me now tell you how easily the vehicle upshifts when you are just feathering the throttle pedal. So let me pull over to the shoulder. I'm going to come to a standstill. This time I have activated eco mode, and I have also engaged auto hold functionality. So check this out. I am in D mode. I have released the brake, but because auto hold is active, the vehicle will not move forward till the time I tap the throttle pedal. So as soon as I have tapped the throttle pedal, check this out, the vehicle has started to crawl. If you want to know the crawling speed, let me tell that to you. It is now crawling at 7 kilometers per hour. Flat gradient, no incline or decline. So 7, maybe 8 kilometers per hour, but under 10. And this is going to be very useful in bumper to bumper traffic, especially in cities like Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Bangalore. This would be very, very convenient. Now, when I gently feather the throttle pedal, check this out. It has upshifted to second under 20 kilometers per hour. Now it is upshifting to third, again under 2000 RPM, well under 2000 RPM and under 30 kilometers per hour actually. Now it has upshifted to the next gear at close to 40 kilometers per hour. The next upshift is arriving again under 2000 RPM, under 60 kilometers per hour. And now we have one more gear left, and the shift is coming up at, let's check it out, under 2000 RPM again, and we are in the 6th gear. I hope we did all 6 gears. If I did not, please do highlight that in the comments below. But I don't know when I will have this car with me again. Nevertheless, well under 2000 RPM, all the upshifts when you are just feathering the throttle, and because of that your vehicle will be stress free, ideal shift point, and because of that you will get fantastic mileage, especially if you are an easy driver, if you are a sedate driver and you don't drive fast and furious all the time. Right now, in terms of my current trip, when I did accelerate hard quite a few times, and now when I am mile munching, the average fuel efficiency that I can see on the onboard computer is 15.1 kmpl. So this definitely is an efficient engine and gearbox combination. There is only one problem that I have felt in the Kia Syros since I have been driving it today morning, and that is that the dead pedal is a bit too small for my liking. It doesn't have enough width. So if you have shoes which have a really wide, patch, the sole, your foot might not be completely rested with ease. So that is an inconvenience that you will feel, and I don't know how you're going to change that. I can't really find a flat foot kind of a position for my left foot. Now that you know everything about the engine, the performance and the gearbox, let us start talking about the steering wheel. Now it looks quite nice, the steering wheel of this Syros, a flat top and a flat bottom, fantastic looking unit. And these drive mode and traction control buttons which are offered to you here, they are very easy to access and operate. In terms of driving modes, you have 3 options: eco, normal and sport. You can do that on the go. And in terms of traction control modes, you have snow, mud and sand. So if you get stuck in a tricky situation, you have these modes to help you out. But keep it in mind, this is a 2-wheel drive, front wheel drive compact SUV, not a hardcore off-roader. So don't really go off-roading with this car, because if you get into slush, you might get stuck, even though you have these snow, mud and sand modes. It's a two-wheel drive vehicle. By the way, when you are making any changes to these drive mode settings from the steering wheel, you don't have to lift off from the throttle. You can do that part throttle when you have the accelerator pressed, so there is no change necessary from your end. And when you do that, right now I am at close to 80 kilometers per hour. Now I have moved to normal. Now I have moved to sport mode. You won't necessarily feel a major amount of change, part throttle, steady throttle, but at that throttle, it will start to pick up more speed progressively. So from eco to normal and from normal to sport, you will feel that the speed is building up with a steady right foot. Self-explanatory, that is how driving modes, riding modes work. Overall, quite a nice experience, and what I want to highlight is the visibility is very good. I am seated at the lowest seat setting, lowest seat height of this Syros. Very good visibility. This quarter glass, very, very useful, especially when making U-turns and when maneuvering through, tight lanes. No blind spot, no major blind spot. You can see through behind the wing mirrors. So that is very useful. And even on the other side, actually, it is quite helpful. Also, to gauge all four corners of this vehicle, the inside rear view mirror is nice and large. The wing mirrors are also wide. So if this is your first vehicle, you don't necessarily have to struggle a lot to understand the size of this car, and you will be instantly at home. If you want further assistance, there is a button over here. When you press that, check this out. This is the rearward view, and this is the forward camera view. So if you want to use this as well, you can do that, but I don't know why you would do it, because this should do the job. Nevertheless, what I want to show you is that the feed is brilliant, and just check it out. It is not at all patchy. So when I'm approaching this car, check it out, it is not snappy. You get a good feed, and it's just so good in terms of quality. So good cameras, good 360-degree cameras that are offered to you with this Kia Syros. And if you don't want this feed, just press this button and it will go away. You can also notice the map that is being projected. Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto available with this Syros. A very nice all digital color display speedometer cluster which is offered to you. Very good contrast, very good colors, very good animation, and all the information and the font, everything proper. You can read everything even under top sun. Then you have this screen for your air conditioning. Sorry about the wipers. Okay, switch off. Okay, switch off. Now these, by the way, between these two screens you have one more screen, this one over here. This is for your AC control. Very unique. No other car in the Indian market, I guess, is offering this to you, where usually you would have a blank bezel. You have that space, that real estate utilized, and this AC control is also quite nice. This is a touch unit, but if you don't want that, you of course have the AC controls over here, which are very easy to access. So now coming back to the steering wheel point, what I'm going to do is get the cruise control to 80 kilometers per hour, and I'm going to go to eco mode. So right now, steady speed at 80. What we will do is try to mimic an emergency maneuver. So check this out. If I very quickly make a lane change like this, if I again make a lane change like this, the steering wheel, it helps me to do it, but it doesn't really give me too much confidence. Now this Syros is a tall boy kind of an SUV. It is a high vehicle, so center of gravity of course is a bit on the higher side, and there is some amount of body roll which you will feel. I'm still at 80 kilometers per hour, and if I do this, if I make this kind of an emergency maneuver, of course you will feel the body roll. When you are doing that, the steering wheel gives you a good idea of where the wheels are pointed, but the kind of feedback that you would expect, the kind of heft that you would expect, the kind of countering, force that you would feel on a very well calibrated steering wheel. You don't necessarily feel that. But then again, this is a family SUV, this is not a sports car, so it is, I'm sure, consciously built that way. But nevertheless, when you are doing all this, the vehicle stays in your control all the time because you have all the latest electronic safety features available to keep the car in your control. So nothing to worry. It is just that you can't go corner carving. So if you're driving over a ghat situation, a ghat road, over winding roads, don't go apex hunting with this vehicle. It will throw in some surprises if you are not an experienced driver. But in terms of the effort required, this steering wheel is nice and light, and it is very easy. So anyone in your family, they can easily operate this car. And even for the elderly, this steering wheel does not require too much effort. Let me show that to you. I will pull over to the shoulder one more time. And this time what I want you to notice is that how easily I can single-handedly move this steering wheel. So check this out. I am pulling over and I am at a standstill now. Check this out. Not bad. But compared to Maruti Suzuki EPS units, this is a bit on the heavier side, especially at standstill. Now why is that? Because you have wide contact patch tires offered to you, and you shouldn't complain about this heft of the steering wheel at a standstill, because why would you steer when the vehicle is not moving? Would you? But it's manageable as soon as you get going, and single-handedly with one finger also you can move it if you are that kind of a driver. But when you have both your hands on the wheel, have your thumbs rested on these contours, and when you are pointing and shooting, no complaints. Now speaking about ride quality, this Syros, it rides on 17-inch wheels. The suspension setup has kept me comfortable throughout. Also, big shout out to the seats. They are very, very comfortable, very nice and supportive, and they have decent amount of lateral support too. So when I was driving it a bit hard and fast, I was in the seat in my place effortlessly. Also, all 4 seats of this Syros at 4 ends, they have seat ventilation, 3 levels of seat ventilation. No heating but cooling for sure, and it is very useful. And at level 3 it gets a bit noisy in terms of the speed, so I would rather keep it at level 1 and stay happy on the seat even on a sunny day, and it definitely adds to the overall comfort. Coming back to the ride quality, the suspension setup is nice, it is soft and it is comfortable. I do feel like the rear is a bit soft when moving over some undulations, and I did notice some amount of extra kind of a movement from the rear end. But then again, this car is not meant to be driven in that fast manner. In terms of comfort, it is not bad. It doesn't really allow too many thuds on the inside, so you will be relaxed, you will be happy. On a long drive you will not be tired. It is just that on a long drive, if you are too enthusiastic, then this car is not built for that. So you have to keep in mind what kind of a product you have brought home and drive it accordingly. Right now out on the highway at close to 100 kilometers per hour, nice and flat ride quality. Check this out. When we move over these connecting points, not too much of a movement, and you can happily keep munching miles. Speaking about brakes, you get all 4 disc brakes with this vehicle, and when you tap the brake, the good thing is that it is not over servoed, so it doesn't really grab on very sharply, so you get good progressive stopping power, so you can bring the car in your control easily. It will not throw in any surprises, so you don't have to go through a learning curve to stop the vehicle. So that also is a good thing. The tires have offered us fantastic grip. Like I said, wide contact patch tires, 17-inch wheels, good grip. The car looks good from the outside in terms of the tires. The car doesn't look under tired because this is a tall boy kind of a design, so it does enough justice in aesthetics and also in performance and also in safety. JK tires are offered to you. Of course, you can get better rubber compound, more grippier rubber compound if you feel like. Now, you don't know if all variants in all batches of this Syros will get JK tire, but as it is right now, what it is right now, I don't think this is any point of concern. Next, what I want to speak about is ADAS. Now, this vehicle has level 2 ADAS. Check this out. I'm going to set the cruise control at 86 kilometers per hour. Right now, 90. I'm reducing the ADAS distance. There is a vehicle in front of me, but my car is not accelerating. My car is actually slowing down. I am not using the accelerator. As soon as I moved on to another lane, because of adaptive cruise control, my car has now started to accelerate and it is picking up pace. I have overtaken that car. Cruise control is still at 90, and brilliant, isn't it? I really love adaptive cruise control as a feature, and it is very handy, especially on this kind of a route, on this long highway. So it should help you. It should offer that extra bit of convenience. You of course have lane keep assist and all of those features. I really like that lane departure and lane keep kind of an assistance. It keeps you aware of if you are going off the lane so that you can stay safe even for other road users, and I like it. But there is no ADAS functionality to alert me about the vehicles approaching from behind or for blind spot. I think it doesn't have a radar at the back, but it does have a radar at the front, and it also has a camera over here for ADAS functionality. Check this out. Right now, I have started to roll. I have tapped the cruise control reset button. Now I am not giving any throttle input. The car is doing everything by itself, and as soon as it will start to sense the lines, the lane markings, it will start steering by itself too, and then all I have to do is be alert and monitor the car's movement. Of course, I have to keep my hands on the wheel, but I'm going to demonstrate that it does everything by itself. Check this out. The steering wheel is moving. The vehicle is maintaining the center of the lane. It is staying within the lane, and it has accelerated to 90 kilometers per hour by itself. Over a gradient, it downshifted and it maintained that speed effortlessly, and quite nice, isn't it? Let us increase the speed right now. So I'm going to increase it to 120 kilometers per hour. That is the speed limit over here on this highway. Check this out. Functioning just right. These ADAS features. The car is maintaining the lane easily. All I have to do is gently keep feathering the steering wheel, because you can't really let it go, especially at these kind of speeds. You can hear the speed alert buzzer because we are at 120 kmph. But now when I will approach a slower moving car ahead, what I want you to notice is that the speed will start to drop. I don't know if you will be able to see the speed over here in this cluster in the camera, but right now it's at 120. And say for example, if my car now approaches a slower moving vehicle, I am not tapping the brakes, and when my car has started to approach that slower moving vehicle, check this out, it has now started to slow down and it is reducing the speed by itself. I am not tapping the brakes, and it is maintaining a safe distance. If I increase that safety distance, check this out, the Syros will now let that car roll further ahead. But if I move out of this lane, it has started to accelerate harder to go back to the set cruise control speed, and now you are good to go. So all of these features, all of these ADAS features, they have worked flawlessly. None of them threw any tantrums in my driving experience today. So I have been very pleased with my first drive experience of this Syros compact SUV. What is your opinion about this product? Do you think it is a beautiful looking car? Would you buy this car and stay happy? Would this be a good family SUV for you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you have any other queries, ask me and I will try my best to help you out. Till next time, subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel, press that bell icon, always drive safe, and always have both your hands on the steering wheel. It will give you more confidence, especially on winding roads.